Pregame.com.
College basketball, UNLV at New Mexico. This is Vegas Runner's one and only best bet of the week on his videos. Who do you like and why?
I like the road team. I like the Rebels in this game. I think UNLV can go into New Mexico and get the straight-up win.
That's who you like?
That's who I like. That's
why?
What I'm giving out. To me, it's simple. I think as long as they're disciplined, they'll be okay. If you look at New Mexico, 30% almost of their points come from the free throw line. That's second in all of college basketball. I think UNLV is the kind of team that won't allow that to happen, won't get them to the foul line. And I just don't think New Mexico will be able to score with UNLV. UNLV is 27th in points scored. Here's a team that could put the ball in the basket. And New Mexico, like I said, unless you get them on the foul line, unless you're hacking them, they're just not going to be able to keep up with you on the scoreboard.
What's your impressions?
I think it's a tough place to go and play, and I think UNLV has had their troubles on the road. They call New Mexico the pit for a good reason. VR mentioned about how many points from New Mexico come from the foul line. You know, they get a lot of home whistles down there.
True.
I made this game one. I don't have a strong opinion either way, but I think this is going to be a tough game.
You do see, just pure numbers-wise, the slightest bit of value on UNLV.
Slightest bit, yeah. And listen, around 1, 2, and 3, those are some pretty key numbers.
All right, so let's talk about that a second, right? Because the default answer for the average sports bettor in basketball is all numbers are equal.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think that's true.
Now, I've always believed that 2 is a more valuable number for one simple, or at least one simple reason, which is the idea that at the end of the game, there'll be some intentional missed free throws at 2 at the very end. If there's 2 seconds left, if a team's up by or down by 3, they'll make the first one, intentionally miss the second one. And if you're talking about that smallest percentage difference,
yeah, it's a very small percentage.
Well, so what's the other reason?
Yeah, well, I would say, like I said, I put 1, 2, and 3 just because teams go down and you make or miss that three-pointer. That's what puts it on 3. You know, you can make.
Yeah, but don't you make or miss when the line's 15?
Yeah, but that.
And it's either 12 or 15.
Yeah, but I think you're way off. Those are way more. Those are more ambiguous results. If you're a 15-point favorite, you could win by 12, you can win by 20, and we could say, with all honesty, that was right around the number.
And up 15, the team might not even come down.
They might not even foul. Yeah, they might not shoot the 3, they might not foul. I think this is a game, first of all, it's a tough conference game.
Would you say, to get a little mathematical now, so around every point spread, there's a normal distribution, right? So they talk about the long tail, which is at the far end of the distributions, and the line itself, if the line's a good line, is going to hit more than anything else. Let's say we're on whole numbers now for a second, right? So if the line's 12, 12 should be the most likely outcome by a small margin. 42, much less likely outcome because it's so far down the tail of likely outcomes in a game. And eventually it becomes 0, 120-point difference never happens.
Right.
Wouldn't you agree if the line's 30, that the likelihood of 30 is the same as if the line is, let's forget that 1, 2, or 3 might be better. If the line's 5,
no.
You think that 5 hits more often for lines that are 5 than 30 hits for lines that are 30?
Absolutely.
What's the reason behind that?
Well, sometimes you get numbers that are big, and you can be much more easily off. Okay, let's say we're looking around here. Let's say I was going to fill this room with ping pong balls.
All right.
How many are in here? Well, heck, I have no idea. I mean, it might be 100,000, might be 70,000. We could be way off.
Put them in a jar.
So you're saying
put them in my hand, and I'm going to come a lot closer.
And it's like that with totals too. Once they get up to them 70s.
Sure.
In college football, it's not as accurate when you see a 41, 43.
Exactly.
So you're saying the line is less accurate.
If you're looking to land on the number,
there's a more random distribution of results.
There's a more random distribution of results on both sides of that. So if that, the 30 is a key center point.
If they're wrong, they have a better chance of being wrong about a game that has a line of 30 in college basketball than a game of pick'em.
Again, it depends on what you consider wrong. If you're looking to catch a number,
if the line, but if
where the game's going to land.
Okay, let's say you're a middler. Okay, and the game's 30, and you could lay 29 and take 31. Well, heck, as a bookmaker, I'd let you do that all day.
All day.
If a game's 2.5 and you're going to lay pick and take 4, I ain't letting you do that. There's no chance I'm letting you do that.
Right.
Not at 11 to 10. There's going to be a lot of movement in there with some money and trying to manipulate to get you off that. There's a much greater chance you'll hit that tighter number.
The question is the line off, or is the distribution less normal and more spread out?
Yeah, I think you're looking at a fatter tail on the either end of that distribution curve. You know, there's 30-point favorites that have lost, and there's 30-point favorites that have won by 50 too.
But there's pick'ems that's lost, or +1 dogs that's lost by 30.
I would.
But I hear you. I'm just saying that's not an example.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing you say is there's fatter tail.
There's a fatter tail, no question.
Final point on the game before you make it final.
Again, I just think when you're looking at the AP rankings, I think that's why we're getting value here. You have UNLV 24th in the AP. You have New Mexico 25th in the AP. I don't think too many respected odds makers, wise guys, have New Mexico even in their top 35. I know.
So what you're saying is, and this makes a lot of sense, you're saying is the average square bettors looking at the AP and saying, wait a minute, one team's 24-25, they're almost even. New Mexico, I heard about the pit, I think they're good at home. Oh, wait, I'm laying 2, I'm just picking the winner.
It's a coin flip, exactly. And when you look at my ratings, I have New Mexico a lot lower. I don't have them as low as Pomeroy, who's got him 51st, compared to UNLV, who he has 28th. But I use him as a guide. I think
he's a very good guy.
Exactly.
All right, we've talked it through. Let's make it official.
Rebels at New Mexico. I'm going to go with the road team, UNLV. We know they haven't played well on the road, but I think that's factored into the price. I also think when you look at the AP poll and you got 24th UNLV, 25th New Mexico, I think the AP's way off there. I don't even have New Mexico in my top 35. I like UNLV. I really think they should be favored in this game. I'm catching 2 points. Rebels best bet.
All right, guys, next up, we've got Chris's best bet of the week. Remember, on these videos, these guys only have one best bet every week. That's coming up next, college basketball for Chris. Remember, you can get all of our videos, pregame.tv. Talk to you then.